Hi folks, this is Danny at Bradley James Classics, and I'm bringing you today quite a rare car. In fact, rare on many levels, because not only is this a mini Metro from 1982, it's actually a Vanden Plas model, which is even rarer, and this one's also an automatic. So having covered just 27,000 miles, the car is a genuine survivor. It's rock solid underneath and it's fully undersealed. There's no issues in corrosion. The lovely classy gold bodywork is in lovely condition, as is the interior. And as you can imagine, with just 27,000 miles, there's a lot of life in this lovely little Metro yet. Now, we've sold our unfair share of Metros over the years, and we know a good one when we see one. This one drives especially nicely. Now, being the VDP, I'll just shorten it, that model gives a 1275cc engine, a four-speed automatic gearbox, so it's a pretty decent mover, I can tell you. We will have a look on the inside in a moment, but while I've got you out here with me, let's have a little walk round together and have a look at this lovely car. Now, being a top of the range version, it is very well suited to have a metallic gold paintwork. The bumper is in excellent condition too, as is the low level rear valance. That looks to be the supplying dealer number plate from Duff Morgan, which looked to be a British Leyland dealer in Norwich. I will run through actually some of the features of the Vanden Plas, but I want first off to let you have a look at the paintwork, and hopefully you'll see that it is extremely nice. Very, very solid through the sills. Everything looks original there. The car clearly has had a period off the road. Having looked through the service book, which I'm happy to say is still here, as is the original workshop manual, well, the handbook and dealer folder, I should say, which is here. We can actually see that the car only got registered onto the MOT system in fairly late life, and out of the just few MOTs it's had, it's passed every one, except one where it had, I believe, a single advisory. So it does appear that the car has had a pretty cosseted life, and it's been well loved. So we've had a look around the car, and I would have pointed out any imperfections, but there really isn't anything to talk about from a bodywork point of view. The car itself is certainly in superior condition. I'm hoping you're seeing what I'm seeing here. I'm trying to give you as many practical angles I can with my camera, and knowing these cars as I do, we know when we take them into our workshop exactly what to be looking out for and any problem areas, and that usually, unfortunately, is things like structural corrosion, issues with subframes, and problems with hydroelastic units, etc., etc. None of this exists with this lovely little Metro from 1982. Now, 1982 was actually the first year you could buy one of these cars, even though the car was sort of launched as a 1981 car. It was 1982 when they started bringing out this particular version. Now, I'm going to sit inside and I'm going to show you a little of what you get when you specify the top of the range model. So I've prepared a little list of the extras that I'm aware of, and I'm going to show you any of the interior ones as I'm here. But even though the Metro was first introduced actually in late 1980, the Vanden Plas didn't actually come out to April 82. This car was registered in August 82, hence the wide registration. Now, the A Series, or the A Series Plus actually, that they fitted in Metros, was a 1275cc, as we've mentioned, 60 brake horsepower, and an optional 4-speed automatic gearbox is fitted in this model. And I can tell you, it's pretty sprightly. You'll be surprised that because the car doesn't weigh very much, of course, it goes rather well. These cars had hydroelastic suspension throughout the whole range. This is not unique to the Vanden Plas. And the rack and pinion steering made it feel very modern. Servo-assisted brakes meant it stopped well. You had front discs and rear drums. The external additional extras fitted to the Vanden Plas model was a bronze tinted glass, laminated windscreen. You had bright inserts added to the front and rear rubbers. You had black wraparound bumpers on this model. The bright finished front grille, which is unique to this car, so you'll see there's like a bright finish, a chrome effect strip around the front grille effectively. You have the door handles and tailgate handles are in a bright finish, and the coach lines with a VP motifs on each rear wing. Now that was standard fitting, as was a sunroof. This one is a tilt and slide. That's it. I'm sorry, it's a tilting sunroof that shuts, but you've also got the rather handy little extra here of being able to just flip up this wind deflector so it is not noisy when you're driving down the road. So that's a nice bright feature, and the headline is lovely in this car. No sign of any water ingress. We have a little nick in the headline here, but I've gone up very close for you to see that. But other than that, it is in rather lovely condition, as is in fact the rest of the interior. And actually you can just see the pattern. It's like a herringbone pattern, I guess. Rather classy seats with headrests. Very nice in the back. There's its original rear parcel shelf. The wooden cappings, the leather sports steering wheel, which is a lovely steering wheel to hold. And because of the 27,000 miles, as you can imagine, there's a lot of life in it. Down here we have the, if you see closely, you'll see the symbol, but this is the period radio fitted. Cigarette lighter, a good old-fashioned choke, give it a little pull, makes it easy to start, light switch. And here we have the wipers. We have a rear wiper here, fog lamps, a rev counter, but I don't want to take away from what I've written here. Deep pile carpets, actually. They're very plush and they're in a very period dark brown. Very in at the moment, actually, a dark brown, but certainly to have a gold metallic car with a dark brown interior was very common with things like Jaguars and Rovers, and you know, a lot of the posh cars at the time had that colour scheme, so why not do the Vanden Plas the same? What else have we got here? So we've got it was known as Rachel woven velvet upholstery. The door casings along here, it has the same rather nice, I'd describe it as a herringbone pattern, but that's what it's called, and you see it's darker at the bottom. The cloth headlining, wood door cappings, and we've mentioned that the car has the rev counter and the digital clock. Often the digital clock doesn't actually work, so they never did work back in the day. You actually started to have headrests, which this one's got. Some of the early Metros didn't. And also in the boot we have a nice carpet. This also has a bit of vinyl which protects the carpet in the back. And I think the wheel trims are unique to this particular car as well. We better just have a quick look at the, make sure I'm right about that, because I'm not entirely sure. Oh, I apologise, the wheel trims are a little different. They have these beauty rings round them, and the centre cap in the middle does have a VP badge. I need to just double check that. So this is how we're getting into the back of the car, and that's that deep pile carpet and rather plush seating arrangement in the back. Now these cars do go rather well, and I think I've mentioned this has the 1275 engine, so yeah, they're pretty pretty sprightly. I'm just going to pull the bonnet release up for you. Can have a little look under there together. They're pretty economical as well, and being an automatic, there are people who will only have an automatic, and this is a lovely little easy to drive auto which will slip into your garage quite easily. Now, I'm always struggling to try and open these bonnets on my own, and there's a little clip just here, and let's have a quick look under the bonnet. Now, this is very nice here. It's nice and bright. There's the correct colour red engine, 1275. Automatic gearbox, so it's a little bit different that end. It's a new battery that's fitted with a telltale indicator. Just a single carburetor despite the 1275 engine. And actually that looks all very bright and good under the engine bay. It really is quite something to find one, but then to find one with 27,000 miles is frankly wonderful. Now, the car itself we're selling on behalf of the owner, which we find ourselves doing quite a lot these days at Bradley James. Now, the car did drive up from the Surrey Hills up to our location in Hampshire. It went straight onto our ramp this afternoon and it's been fully inspected. I've personally just taken it for a little drive at the close of the day, and I can confirm that she does start on the button. She doesn't miss a beat. She is in very nice condition, and personally I think this car would look rather good at any car show in the land. A combination of its rarity and condition. It's a pleasure to drive, real fun, simple. The benefit of now being because it's a standard car with no modifications, that means it is in fact MOT exempt as well as being tax exempt. So this does make this car cost of ownership rather impressive. As I mentioned, one of the things we always look at with cars from this era is the undercarriage. We've had a look under there. She's rock solid and totally wax oiled, so I can't see any impending issues with any corrosion. In fact, previous MOTs refer to the fact that there is no corrosion. Got a very long MOT. The last MOT, which was done in recent times, the car passed with flying colours, not even a single advisory. Well folks, I'm delighted to do a walk around video and share with you just how lovely this little Mini Metro Vanden Plas from 1982, registered in August, top of the range spec, 1275 with an automatic gearbox. Less autos around. They are in demand because there's some people who are very accustomed to their modern car being an auto, so they want their classic car to be an auto, and this is a wonderful example. It drives especially nicely. I've just literally come back from having taken her for a spin. She gets up to running temperature briefly. Everything works very nicely on the car. Certainly the heating system is very good. It gets up to temperature and drives along quite nicely. A minute on the choke, then you switch that off and then go for a drive. Well folks, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm certainly more than happy to show you this car in person. We can arrange full UK delivery at highly competitive prices. All we need is your postcode for a quote for that. We have a railway station here in Overton, so the cheapest way of getting this car to anywhere in the UK is to probably drive it, and having just driven it myself and having it checked over in our workshop, I can tell you that she does indeed drive very nicely. And the only other thing I've noticed, we've had a recent receipt from the previous owner that, well, in fact we're selling it for. The fuel lines on the car appear to have been changed. Now, I'm not entirely sure if that's because of the new fuel or there was any issues with leaks, but I did notice a fairly recent invoice for that. Otherwise, we do have a stamped up service book, but I'm afraid that does refer back to the early days. And all I can tell you is, having had a look under the car myself, it would appear that everything that's required for a full recommissioning of this car appears to have been done, and certainly by the way it drives, I can vouch for the fact that everything has been done to a good standard of work, and the car drives especially well. Well folks, thank you very much for bearing with me. 15 minutes with a Mark I Metro from 1982. It's available now at Bradley James Classics. You can come and have a look, see how it drives for yourself, and if she's for you, she can be driven away, or we can arrange competitive UK-wide delivery. That's Danny at Bradley James Classics, signing out.